Good afternoon, Charles. How are you this fine day?
And to you, Cedric. I say it is a fine day indeed.
I say, Charles, Margaret and I have been bursting to find out about your recent holiday. To America, was it?
America, yes. Why, I tell you, Cedric, it was the most frightful time.
Oh, do tell.
I will do just that. However, you must contain your excitement, as this holiday was riddled with the most outlandish of events. First, Elizabeth and I were fussing around the cottage in a mad dash to collect our baggage when our coach arrived. 4 minutes late, mind you. I was in the process of preparing the most disagreeable complaint when the doorbell rang. Well, to our astonishment, a massive brute appeared behind the door and collected our belongings before I could utter a word.
You don't say.
Oh, but I do say. You wouldn't believe, but the brute took the eastern exit at Regent's Park.
Not east.
You understood correctly, east, when the massive beast should have gone south. Well, as you have deduced, we arrived at the airport several minutes later than expected, and I began to lament not having completed my review of his poor creature's services. I must remember to follow up on that.
Yes. Do go on.
Yes, well, Elizabeth, completely out of breath from our arrival, brings our bags to the airline counter, only to discover that our flight had been delayed. To make matters worse, I was not listed on the manifest. Upon hearing this, Cedric, I gasped out loud, I tell you, so forcefully that Elizabeth was inclined to take my hand.
You were completely mental.
Mental indeed. After discussing this unacceptable situation with the manager, the matter was resolved. However, with only a few precious minutes until departure. Now, I've always been in tip-top shape, and was able to hurry myself along, and was quite prepared for the dash to the plane. But you know how Elizabeth's heart is.
Poor thing.
Oh, it was dreadful. Our seats were not as advertised, and I completely was put out by their attempts to replicate a proper English breakfast.
Inexcusable. And the tea?
Oh, quite lovely. Very British. I continue. We landed in Dallas.
Dallas, you say?
Yes, it's in a place called Texas. Cowboys and such, sunny, dry, people smiling all about. Not very British if you ask me. If I had something pleasant to say, I would. But you know that I'm a man of truth, and truth is what I must give you. Why, Cedric, there wasn't a meal less than 10 pounds, nor smaller than a mini. The food tasted of lard and was filled with spices that weren't fit for a proper gentleman. I was all too happy to get our luggage and be off to our hotel. Now I tell you, this is where things went horribly wrong. To my complete astonishment, they had lost my personal bag. I tell you it was missing.
Missing?
Missing.
Now that's not right.
As I desired to post an advertisement of the matter to the local authorities, the airline assured me that they would have my bag delivered to our hotel that evening. Well, what could I do?
What any gentleman would do, I'm assured.
Cedric, when the bag finally arrived at nearly 10 o'clock in the evening, it was, what to tell you, it was a disaster. It had been cut in half, fastened together with common string, and then stuffed in a bag. If it weren't for the identification tag, I would have hardly believed it was mine. But it was.
Oh, Charles, what did you do?
What could I do? I was flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted. Suddenly, the rubbish collector, that's what Elizabeth and I have named him, for he was the one responsible for delivering this rubbish, handed me $400, American.
American?
Yes. He stated that it was for my loss, and that the airline was purchasing me a new bag.
That's brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Splendid holiday. God save the Queen, bless America and all that.